The left one was really
both done. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You got one twice before it.
Yeah,
twice before you got one for it.
Oh shit! Keeps eye poking, man. Once again, it's MMA. If somebody's coming at me and I go like this, it's my hands coming out. It's a natural reaction. It's a natural reaction. That's one thing people don't understand. Like when you do Muay Thai, when you kick, you need your hands out. Even in the gloves, when I throw a kick, my hands are open inside the gloves.
Stop arguing. He got eye poked and then Gane pushed his fingers into both of his eyes at once. Let's just call it what it is.
Following right is that it works. So the best thing you can do is like keep your head in the game, and I'll do everything I can to manage.
All that training for that. Yeah. Don't worry about it.
It's gonna be okay, mate.
What the f is he doing?
The left one was really deep.
Both done.
The left one was really
both done. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
You got one twice before it.
Yeah,
twice before you got one for it. Yeah.
Mike Bisping, he lost his eye. It's just a horrendous thing to think as a parent, really. And I know what it's like these days with people saying what they want, but if it's just your son and they could lose an eye and their health and they've got children to look after, you know, something needs doing about it. Yeah, it's horrendous for me to look at.
The lights of UFC 321 burned bright, and the roar of the crowd echoed across the arena. Tom Aspinall's moment had finally arrived. A title fight years in the making, but in a matter of seconds, that dream turned into chaos. One moment he was landing clean strikes, pushing the pace. The next, his eyes were clawed open, and everything went black. The crowd fell silent. Commentators gasped. The heavyweight title fight was suddenly over, ruled a no contest after what many fans are now calling one of the worst double eye pokes in UFC history. But this wasn't just an accident. It was the moment that exposed the UFC's most dangerous flaw. And now, Tom Aspinall wants revenge. The footage doesn't lie. As the replay rolled, fans saw it clear as day. Ciryl Gane's fingers went straight into both of Tom's eyes, deep enough to make him drop instantly. His face twisted in agony, his hands clutching his eyes. He got eye poked, and then Gane pushed his fingers into both of his eyes at once, one commentator said in disbelief. And while some tried to call it accidental, others weren't buying it. This wasn't a simple brush or a missed punch. It was two fingers, two eyes, full force. The heavyweight clash that fans waited years for was gone in an instant. For Tom Aspinall, this wasn't just a fight gone wrong. It was the kind of nightmare that can haunt a fighter's entire career. His father's heartbreaking reaction after the bout said it all. In tears, he told reporters, "As a parent, it's horrendous to think your son could lose his sight. This can't happen again." His words echoed through the MMA community, a desperate plea for change. Gloves, safety rules, referees, everything came into question. Because if something like this can happen in a title fight, what does that say about the system meant to protect fighters? But on the other side of the octagon, Ciryl Gane stood stunned. He claimed it was never intentional. He said he didn't even feel the poke happen. Gane compared it to when Derek Lewis poked him in the eye years earlier. He said he saw double for an entire round back then and would never wish that pain on anyone. "I didn't do it on purpose," he insisted. "I know how bad it feels." He looked genuinely shaken, apologetic even, but fans weren't convinced. The timing, the angle, the depth of the poke, it all felt too much like carelessness and too little like an accident. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson didn't hold back either. Watching the chaos unfold, he called out the UFC directly, saying the entire problem could have been prevented with better gloves.
I think we started very well. I think he started very well, but I think I started very well. Because everybody knows his strategy every time he started very hard and surprise his opponent. I think we did very well. We defending a takedown, I touched him. We saw some blood on his nose. It was a really great first round, and that's why, yeah, maybe also I was a little bit disappointed, a little bit sad about this issue, but it's a sport. I was at first angry because I don't want him. I don't want from him to stop the fight. After I was disappointed, sad, and after that, apologetic, exactly. for the people.
Ciryl, how did you feel about the eye poke? How do you feel when your hands and your fingers touching his face? Did you feel something specific? Ciryl responded, no, I didn't feel anything specific. I didn't do it on purpose. And I know what it is to have an eye poke, because when I fought Derek Lewis, I got an eye poke and I was seeing two Derek Lewis for a full round. So I know how it is. And
one round during that is what the debut of the run, and the rest of the run, and so the two Derek Lewis. So I'm not gonna say yeah, he's a liar.
Eye pokes in mixed martial arts unless you put us in gloves that are like in actual like boxing gloves. And I think one of the reasons why everybody's so upset and they're kind of controversial is that Ciryl Gane was fighting good. He was doing a great fight. I was impressed how Ciryl Gane was able to maneuver and give Tom a hard time to track him down. Now, Tom did try for a takedown and Ciryl Gane was able to defend it. But that was the thing that was like, damn, like, what would have happened if, you know, the fight would have gone on even more? Because Tom Aspinall was seeing a little adversity. He wasn't get blown out, but he was being bloodied up, which you never seen him done that. We'd never seen him bloodied up before. And we had someone who was athletic, who looked fresh, who was game in order to, you know, beat Tom Aspinall.
You're never going to fix eye pokes in MMA unless you put us in real boxing style gloves, he said. He pointed out that Gane had actually been performing brilliantly up until that moment. Slick movement, tight defense, clean jabs. He was giving Aspinall real trouble, something fans rarely see, but when the foul happened, it ruined everything. And not just the fight, but the integrity of the division. Johnson said it best. Tom was finally being tested, bleeding, fighting through adversity, and then, boom, gone. We never got to see how deep that fight could go. And now, rumors swirl that the injury may be worse than anyone expected. Sources close to Tom's camp fear a possible retina tear, something that could sideline him for months. If that's true, the rematch everyone wants might not happen until early next year. Still, both fighters and the UFC itself know it has to happen. Fans are demanding closure. This wasn't the ending anyone wanted. Dana White himself called it a pain in the ass situation, but confirmed, we've got to run it back. His tone said it all. Frustrated, disappointed, but determined. The heavyweight division can't move forward until this fight happens again. But some voices in the MMA world aren't showing much sympathy. MMA guru went viral for his harsh take, saying, "Stop arguing. He got poked in both eyes, both fingers, both eyes at once. Let's just call it what it is." He even claimed that Gane wasn't winning when it happened, that Tom had been landing the better shots, setting up his rhythm, and slowly taking control. Guru compared it to John Jones's infamous eye pokes, saying even Jones looked clean in comparison. Fans were split, some furious at Gane, others blaming the gloves, but almost everyone agreed this was one of the ugliest endings to a title fight in recent memory. Michael Bisping, who watched from cage side, described the moment as electric before disaster struck. He said the first round was everything fans could have hoped for. Fast, technical, full of promise, but the double eye poke left everyone speechless. Tom was heartbroken. Bisping said this was supposed to be his night. He waited years after the Jones fiasco, trained harder than ever, and it ended like this. Bisping didn't hesitate to call for an immediate rematch once Tom heals, reminding fans that no fighter deserves to lose their chance this way. Even Dana White's post-fight comments reflected the chaos. He praised Gane for looking sharp, saying the Frenchman had clearly improved since the John Jones loss, but he also couldn't hide his disappointment. "It was a great showing, shitty ending," he said flatly. "Total pain in the ass." He confirmed Tom was sent straight to the hospital and that the UFC medical team would run full tests on his eyes before making any plans. Yet his final words left no doubt. "Yes, we'll rebook it. We have to." Then came Chael Sonnen, never afraid to stir the pot. He said Tom should have kept fighting, claiming that real champions push through even with one eye. It was a harsh take, one that drew instant backlash online. Fans called him out for being insensitive, but Chael doubled down, saying being poked in the eye is illegal. But fighting with one eye is part of being a fighter. To him, the moment Tom started talking quietly to his corner and holding the ice to his face, he looked defeated. Others saw it differently. They saw a man genuinely injured, in agony, and robbed of a fair chance. Anthony Smith added his own voice to the mix, saying the fight was supposed to be a true test of Tom's evolution. Could he handle adversity? Could he wrestle through pressure? Could he adapt when things went wrong? But instead of answers, fans were left with questions. "We didn't get to see it," Smith said. "We didn't get to find out." The disappointment was universal. And then, as if the controversy wasn't enough, analyst Sean O'Malley dropped a detail that made everyone pause. Both eyes were clearly poked. Not one, both. He said one of Gane's fingers even brushed Tom's mouth. O'Malley also slammed the UFC for reverting to old glove designs, calling them trash. He said, "They went back to the old ones, and look what happened." The statement reignited the entire debate about fighter safety and whether the promotion's priorities are in the right place. But perhaps the most heartbreaking part of all came when fans realized what was lost that night. Tom Aspinall wasn't just defending his title, he was fighting for a chance at greatness. Analysts revealed that a win could have set up the biggest fight of his career. A showdown with John Jones, possibly even on the rumored White House card. Imagine that, the heavyweight champ walking out on the most historic stage in UFC history. That dream vanished the moment Gane's fingers made contact. Now, the heavyweight division is frozen in uncertainty. John Jones is recovering from injury, Alex Pereira has no interest in moving up, and Tom's future remains unknown. A rematch with Gane seems inevitable, but no one knows when it'll happen. Until then, fans are left with frustration, anger, and the haunting image of a fighter clutching his eyes in pain as his dream slips away. So where does this leave the UFC? With broken rules, flawed gloves, and a division desperate for clarity, everyone, from Dana to Bisping to the fans, agrees on one thing: it can't end like this. Tom Aspinall deserves his rematch, Ciryl Gane deserves his redemption, and the sport itself deserves a solution, because the next time this happens, someone might not just lose a fight, they could lose their sight. As for Tom, he's already broken his silence. Close friends say he wants the rematch as soon as he's cleared. He's not backing down, not after everything that's happened. "I want the rematch," he said quietly but firmly after the fight. Those 5 words lit up the MMA world, because deep down, everyone knows the story of UFC 321 isn't over. It's only just beginning.